I crunched my drawing, and I'm so sad that I did. This is from talks about being skinny. Everyone wants to look skinny. And why is that? And regardless of why it is, to what extent do you think that it is? Skinny. Skinny. And that talk always ended up with there's skinny, and then there's cornu skinny. Because when you engage your body from your shoulders and your hips, and in the engagement it causes this, that's as skinny as you're going to get. Greetings, my name is Michael Miller. This is a Michael Miller trademark training video out to you because you're watching. Thank you and welcome. It's meant for Michael Miller Pilates licensed affiliates, licensed presenters, the Cornu Core, my patrons, patreon.com, Michael Miller Pilates. I need more patronage to keep doing what I'm doing. So it's up to you to, as soon as you get on watching this, write that down now, Patreon, Patreon. If you like what you're getting and you want to express value for value, and you want to feel a better sense of ownership of what you get from me, then not only show it in value of your patronage, but also the value of having a start date of when you started doing that. So it's meant for my patrons, but most of all it's meant for you because you're watching, and I assume you are interested in surviving and thriving as a Pilates instructor. Not as a PT that uses Pilates in their PT practice. So the bookends, these are two horses' heads, one facing this way and one facing the other. PT goes toward the individual and toward the issue in the individual. Pilates goes toward the ideal, the experience in MMP's POV, and so to survive as a Pilates instructor or student, just to hold your head about you when it's tough to even know what Pilates really is, or does Pilates have a really is? And if it doesn't, then what does it matter? The culture, I think what Flavio wanted to consider the tradition, just the whole history and so much of it being folklore, with Pilates as having, or presuming that Pilates has no essence of its own. And for, a couple of thousand years it may still not be looked at in anything other than by a minority. But if you know about CT and MMP, you have a sword and a shield in however you go about surviving. And what do I mean by that? Well, you have the sword in terms of your intellectual understanding of the theory of Cornu tension and the theory of Michael Miller Pilates. And a shield, insofar as a shield is used for defense, in that your knowledge, your theoretical understanding of those two things gives you more than those that don't have a theoretical understanding of Pilates and have any notion at all about the fact that core nu tension exists in the body, and it's the means through which the body engages all its muscles to make it as easy as possible to move through space. 3 things on my list today. The Michael Miller Pilates Training Manual Insert. So, what seems like forever ago, I had this idea of getting a training manual, like an insert for a manual. You know, you click open a binder and you put a piece of paper in there, and then you click the binder closed. A laminated piece of paper that would be an insert to anybody's manual that clarifies the key points in 2 different languages. The one I started with was English, of course, and just recently I've gotten back a translation, as promised, and seek to be sharing it soon. I have to do more layout stuff, but it's $20. Send me your email, I'll send you a bill. You'll tell me where to send it. It's laminated, it's 8.5 by 11 inches. Probably 3-hole punch, huh? That would make it easiest. And that would make sure you could get the punches and still read and it didn't ruin any of the language. So, be sure to order that. Number 2 is, oh man, the title of this is In Line, in Plane. In line, in plane. So, I see so many expressions of movement where the body is standing on the ground and the carriage is going in and out. And so, to me, that's not in the plane of the springs. And because of that, it's not as concise as or as pure as what you're aiming for in all of your expression in Pilates. So I'd much rather see somebody nail side splits on the reformer with their body in line, in plane, so that the tension that you're working with is in the plane in which you're seeking to demonstrate control. So, to me, that's towards Pilates, whereas the exploration is fine, but I think it's important to recognize the distinction between the pursuit of doing Pilates and some improvisation of that. And so to the extent that you're not in line, in plane, in the line of the spring, that's a very ideal thing, but it is a thing, and it's in pursuit of the purity of the effort that you find yourself doing Pilates. Okay? Number 3 is titled Never-Ending Sidekicks. On the Pilates mat, there's a point at which you lay on your side and you articulate one or both legs until you move on to the next exercise. And I saw a fellow instructor share a video clip of teaching sidekicks to a whole lot of people at a conference. And the note and the video clip, one explaining the other, or showing the other, well, one showed the other. The note was something about more dancer variations in the sidekicks. Okay. And I've been down that road. Only insofar as my point is that when a dancer injects more movement because it feels good and it's more articulated, it's more artistic or why-ever, to the extent that it isn't an expression of control of plane, in plane sideways, forward and back, right? Up and down 90 degrees, always. One plane and then the other plane 90 degrees. And then rotation within that plane one way and the other. And you're done with that. You're moving on. Meaning that to the extent, one of the comments about this of mine is that to the extent that you spend all that time doing the leg work, it's too much limb focused, can be, easily. And just recognizing that you take more time, maybe it's what everyone wants in the room because they're all dancers. But knowing that you're trading off all the extra time you spend on that, losing whatever you built up. Now see, I should know that right out of my head, and I don't want to misspeak it. Refer to my previous recordings, my DVDs, to get my explanation of how the body moves through space. And in the part where it's doing side kicks, you're expressing control of your hip axis on a 90 degrees from, in the line of gravity, right? You're going from flat across gravity, the way we move through space as a human being, in our hips. So you're lying down and going sideways as you're lining your hips up with the vertical. And then you articulate the legs in plane, 90 degrees, and rotation, and move on. Because there's a press through the performance of the mat. So, I did laundry today, this morning, and not work out. How could I possibly do that? Maybe I'll get to it. But in the timing of broadcasting and thinking that I was substituting one for the other, it reminds me of Joseph Pilates, writing about an internal shower. When you do Pilates, you're giving yourself an internal shower. So I gave all my clothes an external shower, but my body is missing the internal shower one gets in the pursuit of doing Pilates. Life can't live forever. Read between the lines and see behind the curtain. Connect the dots. Evaluate points of view. Know how to make an offer. See how technology is letting individuals set up income streams for whatever they're passionate about. I have yet to learn more about that. Know your point of view. Know your point of view. And your point of view as expressed in a talk that you can just read right out of a book if you want to. Right? Don't even have to stand up, but that you're delivering a talk that encapsulates what someone wants to know more of that can't fit into the talk. That's how I see it. Which is convenient because you get paid to do the talk, something, preferably. And then if anybody's interested that you give the talk to, you have an echo of income. That's very good. An echo of income. Evaluate points of view. Know how to make an offer. Know how to make a talk. Make a speech. You may not think it's the thing, but it's the one way, it's the tip of the sword to go out and find new customers no matter what you're interested in, and no matter how great your job is. Be able to express what you see as transformational that you want your ideal student to show up with, or viewer. Make the talk for them. Close. And then go on with the rest of your life. Direct your thinking.